In the quiet plains of Hudson, the wind carries whispers of doubt. At Heartland Ranch, where love and loyalty have always guided every choice, a shadow of suspicion begins to grow. Someone's keeping a secret. And it's about to test the strongest bonds the Bartlett-Fleming family has ever known. Asterisk. Morning light spreads across Heartland Ranch. Horses move slowly in the paddock, their breath turning into clouds in the crisp air. Amy stands by Spartan, her hand resting gently on his neck. She's calm on the outside, but her thoughts aren't at peace. Something feels wrong, though she can't explain what. A strange tension has settled in lately, soft but heavy. Like a storm waiting to break, Jack walks toward her from the barn, his old hat pulled low against the wind. He watches Amy closely. He knows that look in her eyes. It's the same look Marion once had when her heart was torn between truth and silence. Jack doesn't say much, but he senses that something deeper is stirring beneath the surface of the ranch's peaceful morning dot inside the house. Lou flips through her planner, her brow furrowed. She's juggling everything again: the business, the family, the ranch. Yet what truly weighs on her mind isn't written on any schedule. It's a conversation she overheard last night. Voices, low, urgent. One of them was familiar, but she can't remember whose. The words were quick, whispered through the walls. But one phrase stuck in her mind: they can't find out. Tim storms in through the back door, dirt on his boots, phone in hand. His voice cuts through the tension like a blade. "Did anyone take the truck last night?" he asks. His tone is sharp, defensive. Lou looks up, startled. Amy turns from the window. Jack stops by the door, silent but alert. The question hangs in the air, unanswered. Amy shakes her head slowly. "No one touched it," she says. But Tim's eyes narrow, searching their faces. "Because someone sure as hell did. There's mud on the tires and the gate was half open this morning." Drops his gloves onto the counter, frustration rising. "And I know it wasn't me." The silence that follows feels like a crack in the foundation. Everyone looks at one another, trying to read the truth behind the calm expressions. Heartland has faced loss, pain, and love. But trust once broken is harder to rebuild than any fence on the ranch. Amy glances toward the fields, watching Spartan trot restlessly. Even the horses seem uneasy today. She can't shake the feeling that whatever happened last night wasn't just about a truck. Something larger is unfolding, something that could divide the family if it's not faced soon. As Jack finally speaks, his voice is low and steady. "Whatever's going on, we deal with it together. No secrets. Not here." But in a place like Heartland, even words meant to heal can't always stop what's already begun. Asterisk, the sun rises higher, yet the air feels colder. The golden fields around Heartland shimmer with light, but inside the walls of the ranch, the warmth is fading. Every small sound seems louder. The creak of the barn door, the crunch of gravel under boots, even the quiet hum of the wind feels like a whisper of warning. Something isn't right, and everyone can feel it. Amy tries to keep busy. She brushes Spartan, pretending everything is normal. But her hands tremble just enough to give her away. Her thoughts keep drifting back to Tim's question, to the unease in his voice. She tells herself it's just a misunderstanding, maybe a simple mistake. Yet deep down, she knows when something feels off. It usually is. Jack watches her from across the yard, his eyes sharp with concern. He's seen this before, the way people change when secrets start to grow between them. Trust begins to slip quietly, like sand through open fingers. He picks up a tool, trying to distract himself with work. But his mind won't let go of the thought. Who would lie about something so small unless it meant something bigger? Lou can't stop replaying the words she overheard. They can't find out. Each time she hears them in her mind, they sound clearer, heavier. She checks the truck herself, crouching beside the tire tracks. Mud still clings to the edges, thick and dark. Not from around here. It looks fresher, wetter, like it came from somewhere near the river. Her stomach tightens. What could someone from this family possibly be hiding that led them out there in the middle of the night? Meanwhile, Tim stands by the fence, phone to his ear. His voice is low, urgent. "Yeah, I'm telling you, it wasn't me," he says. "Just check if anything's missing from the trailer." His eyes flick toward the house, scanning for movement. He ends the call quickly when he notices Amy approaching. "Who was that?" she asks. He forces a small smile. "Just a supplier." But the lie lands heavy in the air between them. Amy doesn't press, not yet. She knows better than to chase half-truths before they reveal themselves. Still, the knot in her chest tightens. Back inside, Lou opens her laptop to distract herself with work. But something in her inbox freezes her in place. A message with no sender name, no subject. Just one line inside: "You should ask Tim what he's really hiding." Her breath catches. She stares at the screen, the words blurring as fear takes hold. Lou knows the internet is full of strange messages, but this feels too personal, too real. The kind of message that someone close would send if they were too afraid to speak aloud. Jack enters the room, sensing her unease. "Everything all right?" Lou closes the laptop quickly. "Yeah, just work stuff." But the tremor in her voice betrays her. Outside, storm begins to form over the distant hills. Gray clouds rolling in slow and heavy. Amy looks up from the paddock, her hand on Spartan's bridle. "Feels like rain," she whispers. Though she isn't talking about the weather in Heartland, storms rarely start in the sky. They start in the silence, in the words left unsaid, the doubts that grow roots deep in the heart. Asterisk, the rain comes before anyone expects it. A sudden burst of wind sweeps across the open fields, carrying the smell of wet earth and something darker tension. The sky turns heavy and low, pressing down on Heartland Ranch like a secret too big to hold. The horses grow restless, stamping their hooves, snorting at the thunder that rolls like distant anger. Amy runs toward the barn, pulling the doors shut as the wind fights her grip. Her breath is quick, her heart racing. There's something about this storm that feels personal, almost alive. She glances toward the far side of the ranch where the truck tracks fade into the mud. For a moment, she imagines someone standing there in the rain, watching. The thought sends a chill down her spine. Inside, Jack lights the old lantern, the flicker of flame reflecting in his tired eyes. He sits by the window, staring into the downpour. He's been through enough storms to know that weather isn't the only thing that can break a family. He remembers a time years ago when secrets nearly tore everything apart. He swore he'd never let that happen again, but the silence now feels too familiar. Lou paces the kitchen, her phone in her hand. The message still lingers on the screen. Ask Tim what he's really hiding. Her mind races with possibilities she doesn't want to believe. Could her father truly be keeping something from them again? She wants to trust him, but every time she looks at him, she sees that same guarded expression he wore years ago when things went wrong. Tim enters, dripping from the rain, his jacket soaked. "We need to talk," he says. His tone is firm but uneasy. Lou sets the phone down slowly. Amy joins them, eyes sharp, sensing the weight in his voice. Jack walks in too, leaning on his cane, silent but steady. The family gathers, but no one speaks first. The storm outside rages louder, the thunder shaking the windows. Finally, Tim sighs and looks down. "It wasn't about the truck," he admits. "I found something near the river last night, something that didn't belong there." Amy frowns. "What do you mean?" He hesitates, then continues. "There was an old saddlebag, torn, muddy, but inside there were photos of this place, of us." The room goes still. Lou feels her breath catch. "Someone's been watching us." Tim nods slowly. "Looks that way." Jack's jaw tightens. His voice is calm but carries a warning. "You should have told us sooner." "I know," Tim says, guilt flickering across his face. "But I wanted to be sure before I scared anyone." Amy steps closer, her voice trembling. "So whoever left those tracks last night, they weren't from here." Thunder booms again, louder this time, shaking the frame of the house. It feels like the sky itself is echoing their fear. Lou glances toward the window, the rain blurring everything beyond the glass. For the first time in a long while, feels unsafe in the one place that was supposed to protect them. Jack looks at each of them, his voice steady but cold. If someone's coming after this family, they'll find we don't scare easy. But from now on, nobody keeps secrets. Not anymore. Outside, lightning splits the sky open, bright and blinding. The truth has cracked the quiet of Heartland, and nothing will ever be the same again. Asterisk, the storm hasn't passed. But morning comes anyway. The rain softens into a steady rhythm, tapping gently against the windows of Heartland Ranch. The world outside looks washed clean. Yet inside, the air still feels heavy, like something unresolved is sitting between every heartbeat. The night brought too many questions, and now the daylight demands answers. Amy stands in the barn, her hand still on the saddle Tim found. The leather is cracked, the metal buckles rusted, but there's something unsettling about it. A small carving along the strap, the initials EM. She traces them with her thumb, trying to remember. Then it hits her. She's seen those initials before. Years ago, carved into the old fence post near the west pasture. The place where her mother once trained a young horse that no one else could tame. Her voice trembles as she calls out, "Jack, you need to see this dot." Jack steps into the barn, his boots leaving muddy prints behind. When he sees the carving, his eyes darken with recognition. "EM," he whispers. "That belonged to Ed McAllister. Haven't heard that name in years." Amy looks at him, confused. Who was he? Jack sighs, the sound of regret in his voice. "A rancher from down south. Used to work with your mom before she passed. He blamed me for something that wasn't my fault. Said Heartland took what was his. We thought he moved away, but maybe he didn't let it go after all." Outside, Lou approaches, holding her phone tight. "Dad," she says, her voice shaking. "You need to see this dot." She turns the screen toward them. The message has changed. Now it reads, "You can't hide what you stole." Tim's face turns pale. He takes a step back, eyes darting toward the door as if expecting someone to appear. "It's him," he mutters. "It has to be." Amy's breath quickens. "You think he's been watching us? All this time?" Jack nods slowly. Maybe someone wants us to think that." A flash of movement outside catches Amy's attention. A figure, distant but real, walking along the fence line. The rain blurs the shape, but it's there, tall, still, watching. Amy's instincts take over. She runs toward the open field, heart pounding. "Wait," she calls out, but the figure turns away, vanishing into the fog. When she returns, soaked and shaken, Jack meets her with a quiet stare. "Sometimes the past doesn't stay buried," he says softly. "It waits for the right time to return." Lou wipes the rain from her face. "So what do we do now?" Jack looks at all of them, Amy, Lou, Tim, and for a moment, the years show in his eyes. "We stay together," he says firmly. "Whoever's behind this, they want to see us fall apart. We won't give them that." The camera lingers on Amy's face as she looks out into the mist. The storm may be easing, but inside her, a new one is forming. One built on fear, confusion, and a lingering question she can't shake. What if the real danger isn't out there, but within? The wind rustles the barn door, a final whisper before silence settles over Heartland once more. The family stands together, but the trust between them trembles, fragile as the sunlight breaking through the gray clouds. Next time, on Heartland, secrets don't stay buried forever. Asterisk, the rain has finally stopped, leaving behind a silence so deep it almost hums. The sky is a dull gray, the kind that hides the sun but promises no more storms. Heartland Ranch stands still, the fences glistening with leftover rain, the horses calm but watchful, as if they too sense the weight of what just happened. Every step across the wet ground feels like walking through the memory of the night before. Amy stands by the paddock, watching Spartan graze quietly. The wind brushes through her hair, carrying the scent of damp soil and distant pine. She wishes the rain could wash away the doubt that's taken root inside her, but she knows it doesn't work that way. Secrets, once uncovered, leave stains that no storm can erase. Jack joins her, his old jacket still damp, his gaze steady. "You all right, kid?" He asks softly. Amy nods, though the answer isn't true. I just keep thinking, if that man's been watching us, what was he looking for? Jack studies the horizon, where the fog still clings to the hills. Sometimes people look for answers in the wrong places, he says. Maybe he wasn't after us. Maybe he was after peace he never found. Lou walks out of the house, her phone still in her hand, the screen blank now. The mysterious messages have stopped, but that somehow feels worse. Silence from an unseen enemy is louder than words. The number's gone, she says quietly. It's like it never existed. Tim follows behind, holding the saddlebag, now cleaned. The initials still visible. I talked to the sheriff, he says, his tone heavy. They found tire marks by the riverbank, but no sign of anyone. Just footprints that stop at the water. Amy looks down, her voice barely a whisper. Maybe he didn't want to be found. The family stands together, surrounded by quiet. There's no resolution, no neat ending, just questions hanging in the mist. But something has shifted. The fear that filled the house the night before has turned into something else, a kind of fragile understanding. They can't control what comes their way, but they can control how they face it. Together, Jack turns to them, his voice deep but calm. This place has seen its share of storms, he says, and we've made it through every one of them because we don't give up on each other. Don't start now. Amy smiles faintly, her eyes glistening. You always know what to say, Jack chuckles, the sound breaking the tension like sunlight through clouds. That's just age talking, not wisdom. As Amy leads Spartan back into the field. The wind picks up once more, carrying with it a faint echo, a whisper, distant but real. It's unclear if it's the wind or memory, but the words are almost there. It's not over. The morning after the storm feels too quiet. The kind of quiet that comes not from peace, but from everything left unsaid. The land around Heartland glows faintly beneath the pale sunrise, yet the ranch doesn't feel the same. Something invisible has shifted. The fences still stand, the horses still move with calm grace. But there's a hollow in the air, stillness that lingers between every heartbeat. Amy walks along the muddy trail near the river, her boots sinking softly into the damp earth. The memory of the shadowed figure haunts her with every step. She doesn't know if she's looking for answers or trying to forget the ones she already fears. When she reaches the water's edge, the reflection staring back isn't just her own. It's tired, cautious, and unsure of who to trust. Behind her, the crunch of gravel signals Jack's arrival. He doesn't say anything at first. He just stands there beside her, his presence strong and quiet, the kind of comfort that doesn't need words. After a long pause, he finally speaks. You can't chase ghosts, Amy. Sometimes the hardest truth is knowing you may never get one. Amy nods slowly, her eyes fixed on the rippling water. But how do you move on when you don't know what really happened? Jack looks out over the river, the reflection of the sky trembling in the current. You hold on to what you do know, family. Love the land beneath your feet. That's what keeps us standing when the rest doesn't make sense at the ranch. Lou stands in the kitchen, scrolling through her phone. The strange messages are gone. But her curiosity isn't. She replays the events of the past few days, trying to piece together the puzzle. Something tells her this isn't over. Her instincts whisper that whoever left that saddlebag behind didn't disappear. They're waiting for something. Tim walks in, holding a folded piece of paper. His face is pale, his eyes set with worry. This came in the mail this morning, he says, laying it on the table. Lou unfolds it carefully. No return address. Just a single line written in shaky handwriting. You were right to be suspicious. Lou's hands tremble. She exchanges a look with Tim. Both realizing what this means, someone is still out there, watching, waiting, pushing them toward a truth they're not ready to face. Back outside, Amy returns to the barn, her steps slow, her thoughts heavy. Spartan lifts his head when she enters, his calm gaze grounding her again. She strokes his mane, whispering softly, "Whatever's coming, we'll face it, like we always do." Jack leans against the doorway, listening, a faint smile on his weathered face. "Your mother would have said the same thing," he murmurs. The day ends quietly over Heartland Ranch. The sunset spills gold across the open fields, brushing the barn with a glow that almost feels like forgiveness. Yet beneath the warmth, there's a thread of tension that hasn't gone away. It lingers like the aftertaste of a hard truth, soft but unforgettable. Ami stands by the fence, looking toward the horizon. The storm, the secrets, the shadows, they've all left marks she can't quite name. She reaches out, resting her hand on the wood, feeling the rough texture against her palm. The land feels different now, heavier with memory, but it's still home. It always will be. Jack approaches slowly, his footsteps careful, his eyes thoughtful. "You've been quiet all day," he says gently. Amy smiles faintly. "Just thinking about what?" She turns her gaze to the distant hills. About how trust can break without shattering. How it can bend and twist, but somehow still hold if you want it to. Jack nods. "That's the thing about trust. It's not perfect, but it's alive. It grows back if you take care of it." He pauses, looking out at the land they fought so hard to keep. Heartland's seen storms before. This won't be the last. From the porch, Lou watches them in silence. Her phone buzzes again, a new message. For a moment, she hesitates to open it. When she finally does, she reads just 3 words: "He's not gone." The color drains from her face. She looks out toward Amy and Jack, her heart pounding with the realization that whatever they thought was over has only just begun. Tim steps beside her, sensing something's wrong. "What is it?" he asks. Lou doesn't answer. She just turns the screen toward him. His expression hardens instantly. "Then we better be ready," he mutters. "In Heartland, the truth always finds its way home."